Hey, how are you? I'm David, winemaker of Tulip Winery, and I welcome you today to make your own blend. I will guide you through our kit here that will enable you to make your own wine in your house from our wines. I'll start by showing you what we have inside the kit. You have a label for your own wine, a note list of all the wines, we'll talk about it later, a guide through. You have in Hebrew, we call it mesora. You can measure the amount of the wine in that. A measuring glass, a glass of wine, a bottle of wine empty that you will fill up later. The wines themselves, so we have 4 wines here, Merlot, Cab, Syrah, and Marselan. Each one of them is coming from a different vineyard that I chose especially for this blend. On the label of the bottle, you have the vintage, the pH of the wine, the variety, the alcohol level. Let me start by explaining you what is blending wines. What you want to look for in your blend is the good parts of each wine. You want the best thing in each wine to come out in the blend. Each one of this is a representation of one barrel. Each vineyard separate. For instance, this wine is coming from a small village not far from here called Alon HaGalil. This is 100% Marselan for vintage 2019 that was aged separately from any other wine. I want to taste it and I want to take the good attributes that I have in this wine and to add them to the blend that will support the final blend. Meaning, if I have full body here and I want to fill up the body of, for instance, the Merlot that is coming from the Upper Galilee from Kerem Ben Zimra, I can make a blend out of these two. I can have the fruity aromas and flavors from the Merlot, red fruits for instance, and fill them up with the body and black fruits of the Marselan. This will make a new wine consist out of 2 wines that will make a new whole blend. So what we need to do now is to understand the wines that we have in front of us. For that, we have the note paper. We have the 4 wines here, Merlot, Cab, Syrah, and Marselan. We have grades for color, aroma, body, flavors, and longevity or finish. In Hebrew, we call it siomet. And then you sum them up. Let's say I gave 5 for color, 4 for aroma, 4 for body, 5 for flavor, and 4 for longevity. So it will be 22. So 22 will be the mark of this wine. We'll do the same for each wine. I will guide you through one, and then we can know which wine we love the most. Let's start with this one. It's 100% Cabernet Sauvignon from the Golan Heights. The bottles should be sealed and filled until the top. Otherwise, the wine will be oxidized. Just pour a little bit. That's enough for tasting. We don't need more than that. And you need to take into consideration that you have a limited amount of wine. At the end, we have a 750 milliliters wine bottle here, empty, and we have 1 liter here. So actually we have only 250 mLs for tasting. Close it so it won't oxidize. And then I start as the list goes. First of all, in wine tasting, we look at the color. I would say ruby color, not very dark ruby, but light ruby color. I would grade the color 4. Aromas will be herbal, red and purple fruits. So for the aromas, I will go also for 4. I would say medium plus body. For body, I will go also for 4. Body is a sensation. It's something that we feel. It's not describable. You can say heavy body, medium body, thin body, but this one is medium plus, I would say. I gotta say that I like it that way. I don't want the wines to be too heavy. Flavor, red fruits and black fruits, and longevity, the ending. So we can measure the end of the wine, is how long the taste stays and linger in our mouth until it's going away. So while I'm talking to you, it's still there, all right? The wine stays. So we gave it 4 for the color, 4 for the aroma, 4 for the body. I would go, if I would have 4.5 for flavor, I would do that. And longevity, I would go 5. Sum that up, we got 21. I write it down, 21. You need to do that now for all 4 of the wines. So let's say I gave for the Cab 21, I gave for the Merlot 20, for the Syrah, I gave 22, and for the Marselan, I gave also 21. So now I have 4 wines. The fun part is making the blend itself. We will take here, let's say for instance, 30% Merlot, 30% Cabernet Sauvignon, 20% Syrah, and 20% Marselan. it will sum up to 100%, all right? The percentage should be 100, remember that. I can write it down here, write down your thoughts about the blending or your own suggestions. But I will do this 30, 30, 20, 20, and I'll taste that. The way I'm doing that is I just measure 30 from this wine, this is the Cab, 30 from the Merlot, 20 from the Syrah, and 20 from the Marselan, and I pour it all in here to the blending glass. So let me start with the Cab. This measure tool measured up to 50 mLs. So if I want to make 30% Cab, I will just take 30 mLs from the Cab, 30 mLs from the Merlot, 20 mLs from the Syrah, and 20 mLs from the Marselan. That will come into 100 mLs. I will pour it in here. Don't do it over your paper or over yourself because it's red wine. All right, 30. You can actually see the line. The line is 30. It's up to the line. It's very easy. 20. And 20. All right. So that's a blend. 100% wine, 30% Cab, 30% Merlot, 20% Syrah, 20% Marselan. Give grades to the blend like I gave grades to the first wine. So I will start in the color. Ruby dark, really dark. You can't see the paper through that. I prefer that in the wine, so it's better than the one before. The aroma, a lot of fruits. You have the red fruits, you have black fruits, you have purple fruits, and you have spices like cinnamon, cardamom. All right, you have all that in this wine, so it's better that way. Body, still medium. The flavor, plums, blackcurrant, red fruits, spices again in the wine. So we have all the mixture of all the wines that we've tasted here and the longevity. Again, the wine is still going on with me, all right? It's here, it's consistent. So that's the process. Of course, when you do that, do different percentages, mix just 50 and 50% and see what makes, whatever you want. Try and keep enough wine that you'll have a whole bottle. Listen, at the end of the day, even if you have a whole bottle of that, you won't be able to keep it for a long time. 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops. It's not a wine to age. So even if you don't have a whole bottle because you drank all of it, the experience is the most important thing here. To understand that you can make your own wine and you can realize what your favorite flavors are, that's the best thing. But if you have enough wine, so let's measure. We have 750 mLs, so 30% out of 750, you can use calculator, it's 225. So we need 225 from the Cab, 225 from the Merlot, 150 from the Syrah, and 150 from the Marselan. What you need to do now is just fill it up here. You have mLs, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. And 25 will be here, 225. So I have 225 here from the Merlot. Just take it. So these are 225 Merlot, same Cab, do the Syrah and Marselan what you decided, and that's it. At the end, you'll have your own wine in this bottle. Put the stopper, like that. So at the end, you'll have 750 ml, full bottle of wine. Just write down, remember, it's vintage 2019. I know today is 2020, it's not a 2020 wine. You give the year of the wine as the vintage, not as when you make the blend. 2019, the name of the wine, the name of the winemaker, which is you, and that's it. Thanks.